1, and we are recording. Hey, I want to welcome everybody. We got a bunch of people on the line. I know we've got North America well represented in Canada and the United States and out into Puerto Rico. Welcome to our Friends and Family meetup. We're going to be on for about 20 minutes tonight. We're going to be talking about something super exciting in the veterinary science world. That makes it sound really sciencey. Let me say, we're going to be talking about man's best friend. Whether you're cat or dog lover, I'm just gonna, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna ask you cat or dog. That would give us a very different result. We're gonna be talking about cats and dogs tonight, and some amazing stuff happening in the world of science. And hearing from a few of my co-hosts who are gonna be sharing some perspectives, some of their expertise as well. So thanks for being here. Number one, if you are a customer. A friend, a family, and you're on Protandem or any of the other LifeVantage products, let me just first say thank you. Thank you for supporting small business. Small business is what makes the economies of the world go round. So thank you for supporting someone who's basically going out there and trying to create the economies that we need. Heaven knows that we need better economies this year. Secondly, I want to jump into some science. I want to talk about pet health, and tonight specifically, we're talking about dog health, and we'll have some little cameos from a cat perspective as well. But we're going to talk about pet health, and I'm going to share my screen. Lillian, can you be my eyes in the sky? Oh, my phone does not want to play nice tonight. Hold on just a second. Okay, Lillian, here's what I'm going to do. I've got to do some tech work on the back end. I'm going to throw it at you, Lillian. Lillian has a ton of experience from her expertise in the dog world. And Lillian, I'm going to try to queue up your photo, your first photo, and then we'll get to some of the science and why this is so important. For whatever reason, my pictures don't want to cut. Lillian, can I give it to you?
Sure. So
right.
This is our first story is actually from a friend of mine who lives in Brazil, and she rescued. So we're going to start with the cats, and she rescued a cat, and this was back in 2005. When they found the cat, it had a broken paw. So what happened is that it had already calcified, like in the wrong position. So their first intent was to try to strain it with a splint. That didn't work. And what happened was that this cat, instead of walking on her pads, she was actually walking like on the leg this way. And that developed a callus, which started to get infected and very inflamed. And then they tried antibiotics and anti-inflammatory. They did several surgeries because what happened is she lost the skin. So they were trying to pull over skin, to try to make it work. But none of that happened. So what you see in the first picture, which looks really, really gross, was that horrible callus that formed. And at that point, the vet said, there's nothing else we can do. There's no more skin left. We just have to amputate the paw. And my friend Ike and I had been talking back and forth. I sent her some NRF2. She decides to start Nega on it. And she was giving her just 1/8 of a tablet. And I also gave her some hand cream, NRF2 hand cream. But, kitties are tough, so they not always cooperate. So the hand cream was on and off. But you can just see the results. So there's probably between 4 and 5 months between the first picture and the last picture. And you can see, so actually what you see to the left, that little pink part is her pad, which she never can put on the ground. And then that little spot is what's left of that horrible callus. So needless to say, this is incredible. And the next one, Seth, is I was doing a little research, and the number one reason that dogs are taken to the vet are skin conditions. And so skin conditions, ear infections, and stomach upsets. Those are the top 3. And if you've had a dog with skin issues, you know how horrendous it is. The itching, the scratching, the licking, they tear themselves up. And these are 2 pictures just before and afters. I really don't have the exact details. These dogs were all put on NRF2, and then after a couple of months, you see these results. So that dog that looks like a golden retriever, she's a rescue. So when they found her, that was her situation. And this is about 3 or 4 months later on being on NRF2 activated. Those are the results. And then the little Chihuahua is actually from a good friend of ours. same thing. She had, the skin conditions. They tried pretty much everything in the book and nothing helped. And you can see the results. Also, my experience, I've been using these products on dogs for about almost 8 years. And the turnaround in dogs is 2 to 3 months. So you start seeing like noticeable differences. So back to you, Seth.
Wow, thank you, Lillian. Powerful. So we're teasing here a little on Nerf 2, and most of you who are listening to this are probably familiar with NRF2 or Protandem, NRF2 Synergizer. But just so that we never leave that off the table, just so there's no assumption, I want to, before we get to our other co-hosts to share their perspective and their amazing stories, I want to give a little foundation to the Nerf 2 story. So I'm going to load these photos. Lillian, can you give me a verbal if you see these?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so what is Nerf 2? Because Lillian was talking about, okay, we had this cat or these dogs, these animals that had some concerns. Their owners decided, hey, I'm going to take a holistic kind of integrative approach, put them on the NRF2 tablet, and then also a hand cream which has NRF2 activating or synergizing ingredients in it as well. So just at a very basic level, what is NRF2? NRF2 is not, well, let me tell you what it's not. It's not a product. NRF2 is not a product. It is not a drug. NRF2 is you. NRF2 is a protein found in every single cell in the human body. That's about 37 trillion cells. Every single cell in the mammal body. Okay. So 37 trillion cells in the human body. NRF2 is gobs and gobs. Okay. NRF2 protein is found in every single cell. And as researchers have really started to blow this up over the last 2 decades, I'm showing you here a study from 2010. The title, NRF2, Guardian of Health Span and Gatekeeper of Species Longevity. Next study, 2015. And I say next study I'm showing you. Currently, there are over 17,000 scientific studies on Nerf 2, the benefits of Nerf 2, the activation factors of Nerf 2. These are just a couple of the big ones that I'm throwing out at you. Next study that I'm talking about, 2015, NRF2, master regulator of detoxification and also antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and other cytoprotective, that means cell protective mechanisms. Let me show you this study. This study is from the National Institute of Aging. They've been doing studies on longevity studies, how long mammals live. And in these particular studies, again, these are not our company studies. These are done by the National Institute of Aging, which is part of the National Institute of Health. But they've been working with various compounds, drugs, over-the-counters, herbals, since 1999, so over 20 years. In 2016, they published this study. Longer lifespan in male mice who were treated with an NRF2 inducer. Essentially what they found is that mice who got the NRF2 boosted diet, okay, and when I say NRF2 boosted, you can't feed them NRF2. They're feeding them a few very specific natural herbs in a very specific ratio. This is patented, by the way, that then turns on that switch, flips the switch in the mice, or if we want to extrapolate, flips the switch in the dog or the cat or the human to elicit an increase in NRF2. And when I say an increase, a return to youthful levels, okay, a return to youthful levels. So Nerf 2 is something that every single human should know about, but they should know about it not just for themselves, but in order to take care of, their pets as well. So I love this product, Pet Tandem. This is an NRF2 synergizer pill that we developed specifically for dogs. Okay, specifically for dogs. What I want to do at this point is I want to take it back. Let me stop the share, and I want to go to some stories. Okay, of people who are actually utilizing NRF2 activation, whether it's the dog formula, pet tandem, or the human formula. All right. Sometimes cats don't like the dog formula. Go figure, right? I mean, go figure. I kind of think we all should have known that. But Lillian, you were saying, was it an eighth of a pill in that cat? Okay. Yes. That's an affirmative. So either way, the mechanism is the same. We're talking about activating the NRF2 protein, that guardian of health span and longevity in these dogs and cats. Let me go to our first story tonight, and I'm actually going to read them out and just let them come on in order. I don't want to break up in between. So first of all, we're going to hear from Carol Lee, then Claudia, Kyle, and Alton. So Carol Lee, Claudia, Kyle, and Alton, would you guys come on and co-host with me? We'd love to hear your stories. Just tap the unmute button, and I think Carol Lee's ready to rock and roll.
I'm ready. Okay, thanks very much, Seth. Carol Lee Gould from Chile, Morrison, Florida. We don't like that. So I discovered how effective and valuable Pro Tandem is when my friend Lillian had me put my little dog Lacey on the pet tandem that you just talked about. I didn't know anything other than I trusted Lillian, and my dog needed help, a lot of help. Lacey had been in pain for many years. I had used everything the vet told me to, plus the other advertised supplements that I could find. Nothing helped my little girl. She was not enjoying life like she used to. She was the happiest, most involved dog I've ever had. When I went to the barn on my cart, she would make a game of racing me as fast as she could. She was only 12 pounds. No, she was 20 pounds. And racing me and laughing, both of us are laughing our heads off on the way. And of course, I always let Lacey win. And she couldn't do it anymore. For years, she was dwindling. She always limped. She couldn't stretch. She was losing her fun, her joy. So after using the pet tandem for a short time, I started noticing that her limping was improving. The longer she was on it, the less she limped and the more robust she got. Soon she was playing with her not so little Labrador brother. Now she's 12 and the lab's just a puppy, and they were roughhousing and having a great time racing around. I consider this little dog my miracle because she showed me how simple and nothing I had been using for years helped her. Nothing. She was always limping, always getting worse. I couldn't even see a limp. I couldn't see a limp anymore at all after she'd been on it about 3 months. Since watching Lacey's improvement in so many ways, I realized I needed to get all I love activated. So today, my horses, my dogs, and most important, my 85-year-old husband and I are activated and will be for life. And Lillian means so much to me. Thank you for listening to my concerns and inviting me to put Lacey on pet tandem. It made all the difference in the world for her, which really, really affected me and my whole family. Thank you. Thanks, Seth. Claudia, it's your turn.
Love it. Powerful. Thank you, Carol Lee. Claudia, you're up.
All right. I'm Claudia Milton. I actually happen to be Carol Lee, the one that just spoke, sister. I'm Carol Lee's sister. And I started looking into LifeVantage through my sister and reinforced by my vet. It all started when I noticed a red spot on the inside of my dog's mouth, which concerned me. The vet wanted to clean his teeth, and afterwards she suggested doing a chest x-ray because the spot on his gum she felt was cancer. It turned out that he had lung cancer. I was definitely floored when the vet recommended that we put him on NRF2, and then I was shocked more because it's exactly what Carol Lee had wanted me to do with my husband and me this whole time. I called Carol Lee. We signed up, my husband, me, and my dogs, and it took months for me to get my dog into the University of Florida, which is local here. and to schedule him for lung surgery. Which, if anybody's ever had lung surgery, it's a huge ordeal on a dog. So he'd been activated for at least 3 months. What they did is they pulled his lung through his rib cage and snipped off the lower portion of his lung that had cancer on it, and then shoved it back into place. They explained to me that he would be hospitalized for 3 days. And then, you know, if he made it, he'd be hospitalized for 3 days. The surgeon and I talked about the fact that he was on NRF2, and I didn't take him off for the surgery. I gave it to him the night before, and he got it when he got home. It was 5 p.m. at night when he got the surgery, and they called me the next morning at 7 a.m. to come pick him up. So a 3-night stay at the hospital turned into just 12 hours because we all felt, including the surgeon, that the NRF2 made him what they said to me, a miracle dog. Literally, in her words, come pick up your miracle dog. My whole family's on it, my dogs, my horses, and everybody. Obviously, the moral to this story is I should have listened to my sister early. That's it.
And that's why we call it Friends and Family, Claudia.
Yeah,
Friends and family.
exactly.
Thanks for being here tonight. Kyle, you're up.
Hey, hello everybody. I'm Kyle Noss from Phoenix, Arizona. And my dog Marmee is a little overweight English Staffordshire Bull Terrier. And she had a torn ACL. She likes to chase cats, and pushing all that little extra weight on her really messed up her right leg. I took her to a vet, and they said partial tear, and I got a second opinion that said full tear. And that's a $3,000 surgery and 8 weeks in basically solitary confinement. You've got to crate them for 8 weeks while it heals. And typically what happens is they end up tearing the other one shortly after. Most dogs do. We started her on Pet Tandem, and within just a few short, I don't know, it was just a few days, a week maybe, she was walking without limping, but we wouldn't let her go outside. We wouldn't let her off the leash. We wouldn't take her to the dog park. And every once in a while she'd limp again for a while. But after about 2 or 3 months, she quit limping altogether, unless she jumped on the couch or ran around too hard. But after 8 or 9 months, we dared take her to the dog park and let her run full bore, and thought that she would be limping the next day, and she wasn't. So we avoided a $3,000 surgery, and she avoided all that time locked up in the kennel and stuff. And our second dog has a neurological disorder, and he's a little bit bigger. And basically what the neurologist said at the vet was that he has a disconnect from his brain to his front legs. So the best way I can describe what that looks like on the tile floor is Bambi on ice. He literally will fall right down to his chest, splaying out his front legs. And he runs like Tigger. So he's like a little Disney dog. He runs like Tigger and falls like Bambi. I don't notice the difference as much as the neighbors do, but when we walk him, the neighbors really comment on how well he's looking and he walks, because he really does have an odd walk. So that's my 2 dog stories there. The torn ACL, I think, was the greatest. I've had dogs for over 30 years, and we've been to the vet quite a few times and spent a lot of money before we knew about LifeVantage and Pet Tandem. So we're all on it, the whole family and all the dogs.
Awesome. Kyle, thanks so much for sharing. Lillian, as I'm listening to Kyle, I'm remembering something that you told me recently, and your vast experience in working with dogs. You know, the two things that you personally hear from pet owners, and you work with a lot of pet owners. Number one, how do I keep my in this case dog? How do I keep my dog? How do I help my dog live longer, right? And healthier, right? The healthy life. And number two, just remind me what Kyle was saying. How do I reduce vet costs, right? So it's both the lifespan and the health span thing. And let's go to our last story tonight. Alton, the mic is yours.
Thanks, Seth. Hi, everybody. I'm Alton. I am in Ocala, Florida with Lillian and Carolee and Claudia. And so my story is a little different. About almost 2 years ago, one of our 4 miniature Australian Shepherds woke us up in the middle of the night throwing up. And you all know that the sound of a dog throwing up will wake the dead. So we both jumped out of bed, and at first we didn't think it was a big deal. And then my wife turned on the lights and we realized that she was throwing up blood everywhere. So immediately we rushed her to the animal hospital here in town. And fortunately it's associated with University of Florida vet school. So it's a pretty good place. 3 days later, we figured out that she had uncontrollable hemorrhaging going on. There's an actual disease, but I don't remember the name of it. And so the vets told us there was literally nothing that we could do about this. And there was no way to know if it was ever going to come back, how often she was going to suffer from this. And we were thinking, we're going to lose our dog and we're going to have to retire her because our dogs run agility. We try to keep them active and give them a job. And so we told Lillian, what's happening and we're going to probably have to retire her. And she's like, no, wait, just try this little yellow pill. And so I probably don't have to tell you the rest of this story, but we gave her the pill. She now gets she's been getting a quarter pill every day ever since, as well as the other 3. Her anxiety, which is what probably caused the hemorrhaging from her nerves, is almost gone. I wouldn't say it's completely gone. She's a rescue, so she's always gonna be a little flighty, but she now plays with kids and she used to hate kids. She never liked strangers. Now somebody comes in our house and sits down on the couch, she will jump up in her lap and let them pet her. Just a completely different dog. And it's just amazing. And it's helped our other dogs in ways I can't even begin to explain. Mostly their anxiety, because these are high active dogs. They're busy. And so if they don't have a job to do, they go crazy. And this helps solve that problem. And we both are so thankful. We obviously take it as well. I could never pass it up, knowing what it does for us and our dogs. So that's my quick and dirty story.
The dirty referring to the vomit, I'm assuming. Alton, thank you so much. I want to thank all of our co-hosts. I'm going to turn this over to one of my co-hosts today, Eileen Whipple, to talk about a new offering that we have for our customers, where we call it Friends and Family Discount. And you can actually send $10 coupons to other people and then cash in on those as well yourself. Eileen, you want to take it away for a few minutes?
All right. Thank you. Hey, thanks for having me. So I'm excited to share this program with you because who doesn't like sharing things that we love and care about? And we've already heard of everyone sharing about their animals and their family members already experiencing better things with LifeVantage products. So what this looks like Seth was saying, is it's sharing 10 and getting 10. So if you think of your friend who wants to have better focus, he's an athlete, he wants to be better on the trail, he's going to sign up and get $10 off of his first order. You're going to get $10 off your next order. And then you think of your grandparents or your parents and how they want to be vibrant in those years that they've been saving up all this work time for so they could have a great retirement. They sign up so they can have more agility in life for 10, and you get $10 off your next order. And then you think of your friend who's juggling 5 balls in the air, taking care of the kids, taking care of the pets, and just everything going on with her. And so she saves $10 and you get another $10. So as you can see, the great thing about one of these great things about this program is that there's no limit. You can earn as many credits by sharing this with as many people as you can share with. And then there will automatically be put onto your next order. So you don't even have to manage that. What the fine print detail is, it must be spent by the end of the following month. So if someone signs up in December, you need to spend your credits by January. So I want to show you what action steps you need to take to be able to apply this and share this with your friends. 1, decide who to share it with, who your loved ones need to know this information. Send them your link, which I'm going to show you next, and then connect them with the person who shared this with you so they can get all the information they need. I only need you to remember 2 things. one, lifevantage.com. Number two, scroll to the bottom of the page. If you remember those two things, everything else here is just showing you what will happen when you do that. So you go to LifeVantage, you scroll down to the bottom of your page where you get your unique link and you click on that. This page will appear and then you click on the appropriate information and there's your link. And there is where you can share it on social media. So another way to look at this is if you were to log into your back office, you don't know how to do this and you're a customer, please talk to the person who enrolled you. You can log in, you can click on your link in your office, and there's the link for you to copy and share it. And then your credits, how much money have you earned by sharing this? That's also on this second page inside of the LifeVantage website. So I just want you to remember LifeVantage, scroll to the bottom of the page. So 1, get your link. 2, share with your loved ones. And 3, feel better and do more. Thanks for letting me share.
Eileen, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm super excited about that program. We've got lots of customers, who just have tremendous experiences, stories like we've heard tonight. And, the ability to share $10. Hey, you know what? You got to try this product and get $10 off. And then when they get it back, it comes back to them. So awesome stuff. I want to thank everybody, all my co-hosts for sharing tonight. I've been looking at the chat box while you were talking, Eileen. I'm just like, love these stories. Wow, this is incredible. Super powerful. I learned a lot and I got a lot of perspective about pet health today, canine health. If there's one thing that you take away from tonight, from this Friends and Family broadcast, it is this, that Nerf 2 activation can activate and make the world of difference for your pet. The one takeaway is the one thing to do is this. When you know that somebody has a pet and they want to take care of it, they want lower vet bills, they want longer life, right? If that's important to them, then send them a link, give them some education, send them this recording, and let's take that next step. So thanks, everybody. God bless you. We appreciate you being and joining with us tonight, Friends and Family Meetup. We're going to do this again exactly the same way next week, except the fact we're not going to be talking about dogs. Other than that, it's going to be the same. We're going to bring you kind of a unique perspective. We're going to hear stories from stay-at-home single moms, okay? I shouldn't say just stay-at-home mom. Single moms. They're like, stay at home. Are you kidding me, Seth? I'm working like crazy. We're going to hear stories about flipping the switch from a single mom's perspective. So who do you know that's a single mom? They will, I think they're going to love what we're going to throw at the table. And some of them are on here tonight. And I'm excited to hear their stories. So thanks, everybody. This recording is officially in the books. Let's go put the move into the movement.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night.